Welcome to the Rocket Right Show, starring Hurricane Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar. Two busy blondes with their fingers on the pulse of all things Louisiana. Events, health, leisure, entertainment, and more. It's the Rocket Right Show. And now, here's Betsy and Kay.
And we are so glad that you could be here with us to rock it right. We know that this has been a very tough week for people in Louisiana. It's a tough week for anyone that cares about, loves, or knows anyone in Louisiana, or the 53 million people that came to visit. In the last week, we have been extremely hard hit by Hurricane Laura. And right now, we don't like that name, Hurricane Laura, because we are just absolutely disgusted with what she's done coming through our state. But we are going to work together. We are going to pull together. We are going to be resilient. And this is just one more reason that people love us from Louisiana, because we are tough, we are positive, and we are forever Louisiana strong.
Absolutely, Betsy.
Can I get an amen? Because
amen. Oh yeah. Oh, not
because I tell you, we did not do our show last week because of Hurricane Laura. We were afraid. We are here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but we cover all of the state, and we were afraid that the weather was going to be so bad here. We just didn't know what that crazy Hurricane Laura was going to do, and she really infuriated us. But we have decided that what we're going to do is we're going to help lift people up. We're going to help provide information about how they can get disaster recovery and aid. And we want to make sure that whether you're a business, whether you're a homeowner, whether you're a child, whether you're a student, we want to give you something that will make you feel better and make you feel as though we are on the right track to recovery yet again, because who knows more about recovery than the state of Louisiana?
No kidding, girl.
Yeah. So first we had COVID. That's been no fun. And it's just about shut down everything in our state. But then we have Hurricane Laura. Marco didn't accept the invitation to Louisiana. He was inviting himself, ingratiating himself on us, and he was smart to turn the other way because he would not have been welcome. And then Hurricane Laura decided to reel her ugly head, and she did. And so we are going to talk about how you can lift other business owners and other people up with resources, with networking, and with bartering. And so our first guest is Aimee Supp, our premier sponsor for our studio with Partners One. And then we're going to talk to Judd Jeansonne, who is Executive Director of Volunteer Louisiana. Now, whether you have something to give, whether it's time or money or donations, or whether you need help, Judd is the conduit for the state of Louisiana for the AmeriCorps program, and our state's AmeriCorps program has won 2 national awards, and we'll tell you about that. And then we're also going to have
Dr. William Varnado, who barely made it to this state just in time for a hurricane. He's a brand new medical oncologist with Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center. We're going to chat with him, and then we're going to have some feel-good music by Chase Tyler to lift us all up. So a great show.
That's right. Now, so how many of you are Chase Tyler fans? Woo, woo. We are. We are Chase Tyler fans because he brings the energy, he brings the show, and you can't sit down and you have to kind of move around a little bit. You can't sit still with Chase Tyler. So hang on and stay with us through that, because we are going to really have a good show. So I am so thankful that Aimee Supp, the Vice President of Marketing and Sales with Partners One, could be with us. Aimee's one of those bright lights that when she walks in the room, she lights it up, and she does that for a lot of businesses, including Rock It Right, because we are Partners One members, Better Barter for Baton Rouge and beyond.
And she's going to tell everyone what Moxey dollars are, right?
That's right.
Yes.
So we have a situation, okay? And so we know that you have a lot of keys to building businesses. You're a community builder. And so what are some of the key things that you think members need to be aware of right now to help lift other people, whether they're a member or not, in the community, in the business community, to help get us the resources and things that we need?
So by members, I think you're meaning more about business owners, what business owners can do to get back on track. So I think the biggest thing that they can start with is getting back to the basics. Doubling down on what you do, Right now there's a lot of things going on, and a lot of businesses are experiencing that everything's been wiped out as they know it. And so the strongest choice just to start off is acting like you are back to starting your business for the first time, establishing your baseline. Because once you've established that strong foundation baseline, then you can decide what's next for you. If you're a business that is in a position where you are already established with your basics, then you're able to give. You can't give if those basics aren't established. Yes. And so once you have that, then the next part is then to go out and reach out and collaborate with other like-minded business owners. We do this at church, when we're feeling down about life, we go to church and we start feeling better about church. Well, you need that also for your business, where you can go and you can collaborate and you can be inspired by ideas, new ways of thinking to help amplify your business. And through that collaboration, you can amplify what you do to help yourself level up to the next level. And then once you get to that point of you're in a little bit more of a flourishing environment, then you can give back in a much, much stronger position to help those in need around you in your communities and beyond, like in Lake Charles as well.
Yeah. So in Cameron, Calcasieu, Allen parishes, Beauregard parishes, really our viewing audience, our listening audience, there are people right now that don't have electricity, so they're going to miss the show till later, and that's fine because we want them to get what they need. Many don't have water. We have over 200,000 people in our state right now that do not have water because there's no electrical power. But that's coming on very quickly. So we have a lot of people whose businesses may have been flooded, may have just been damaged, hopefully minorly, just minimally damaged. But what about businesses that have what they need here and being able to trade and kind of barter? What are you seeing as far as people in the Baton Rouge area and beyond reaching into west of the Atchafalaya Basin, into Cameron, Calcasieu, Lake Charles, beyond Lafayette, going into Alexandria and around the state?
I think it's a stepped process. So I think initially they're not in a position in those parishes and those cities to do any sort of bartering at the moment because we need to open. We were just talking with Judd before the segment, and he's going to get into it when he talks to you guys, is that they need to get to a place where it's livable, where they have running water, where they have power, where they have access to get going. So the ability for a company like Partners One, Moxey is the community out in Lake Charles, to really start help rejuvenate that community is a little bit farther down the line. But one of the things that businesses can do inside of our community here is they can start leveraging what they have to get what they need, and utilizing that methodology to free up their cash flow, so they have extra cash to do things that they want to do, whether it's to help their own businesses here or send that cash to help rejuvenate Lake Charles to get the things that they need, like water and resources to donate over there right now in the short term immediate.
So would it work if, let's say, I am in one of the areas that's been devastated and I need some materials for my home, to rebuild my home? Could be any kind of materials, wood, lumber, whatever. And somebody here has it and they're a member of an exchange. Would we be able to, instead of spending our cash, be able to trade some of those items that we need to rebuild?
Yeah, so we have an example of that during the flood, where a number of businesses had a lot of extra things, and that they were able to barter with other entities that needed it, whether that didn't have the cash flow to be able to to do the disaster recovery. So I think one of the examples was the remediation, and so they can so a remediation company can go in and barter through our organization to help those businesses in Lake Charles once we're able to get in there. Sure. So then what a company like Moxey does is that we offer all of our businesses that are a part of the Moxey community in Lake Charles, we offer them interest-free line of credit so they can start spending now and get the things that they need. So for example, let's just say that there is a business, once we can get into Lake Charles.
Right.
So business gets open enough to be able to get in there, not actually open for business yet. They can barter with a company, with a remediation company, for example, like in even Lafayette or Baton Rouge, to come and do the work. Moxey, what we do is we would give them the line of credit to do it. So we'll give them a line of credit, let's just say like $1,500 for a restaurant. The remediation company goes in there, gets the business done, and then the company, the restaurant, for example, in Lake Charles, then pays the remediation Moxey dollars. That's our community currency that fuels the ecosystem of business owners doing business with each other. And then in turn, what Moxey does is once that restaurant gets open, then we as a company, we start promoting that business within the entire economy of 4,500 businesses throughout southern Louisiana, actually throughout Louisiana and the Mid-South.
Okay, now say that again. 4,500 businesses within South Louisiana that you can barter and trade with. Hold on to your cash and get what you need. That's huge.
So then what we do, so we've given them the line of credit, we've given them something that they need, and then we promote their business to all of our members and to all of our businesses to pay back that loan. So that basically...
Friends helping friends.
It's just, it is owners helping owners. It is owners helping owners, and that's something that business owners can do right now here in the community for themselves to help free up cash flow and fill their empty tables in their restaurants or get them more clients that they didn't have access to. We've been around for 20 years. We've grown into multiple states, but we're super strong here in the south part of Louisiana along the I-10 corridor, and we're open for business, and we're available here to help small businesses all throughout the area.
You need to call Aimee Supp or go to partners1.com and ask Aimee how you can not only help others, but how you can help your own business grow. And we are raving fans, and we are thrilled to celebrate this 20th anniversary of Partners One. Thank you for being with us. We really appreciate it, and we know you have the expertise that they need. And we're going to be right back with Judd Jeansonne, Volunteer Louisiana, about how you can help people in need right now.
Y'all, I'm Amanda Shaw. We all know Louisiana is as fun as all get out. So get out, take a road trip, and explore our state. Fill her up, then try a new restaurant that's as fun-loving as it is food-loving. Grab the family and take off for monumental adventures at our 21 state parks. Or take a magical minivan tour along our 19 scenic trails and byways. Louisiana's a trip. Take one today.
This is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Plan your road trip at LouisianaStaycation.com. Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. I've had my fair share of experiences with disasters, and I know Louisiana's helping one another is as much a part of our culture as gumbo and Mardi Gras. When it comes to disasters, you can help your community most by getting trained as a volunteer to help with the disaster recovery. For more information about this, visit the websites below and be prepared.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Clarence Bugg Show. Yeah, I'm back on the air. That's right, 10 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday and Wednesday, and we replay it Monday and Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out online. You can watch it live at PelicanSportsTV.com, or better yet, why don't you just download the Pelican Broadcasting app? That way you can take it with you anywhere you go. That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show. Tell you what, oh, wait, gotta run, gotta go, bye.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to Rock It Right. We are so glad that you could be with us. We are covering a lot of ground today. Unfortunately, a lot of torn up ground and wind damage and water damage and everything else across much of our viewing and listening audience because of the evil witch known as Hurricane Laura. So before we speak to Judd Jeansonne, the Executive Director of Volunteer Louisiana, to tell us how we can help and how we can help our neighbors get the help they need, we want to thank our sponsor, Selassie's Jewelry and Fine Gifts. As you see right here, these are just some beautiful examples of the handcrafted, custom-made jewelry that they can do. Earrings, necklaces, bracelets, just beautiful handcrafted things. I personally have a couple of their pieces that I love. These are in gold, the bracelet is in silver, and it looks like our bracelet may have fallen over.
I think you should hand that to me and let me try it on. That's what I think.
So if you would take a look at this, how beautiful that is. It is stunning. And if you are looking for a gift for someone, what you need to do is either call, go online, or go by Selassie's Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the Antique District of downtown Denham Springs. Tell them you heard about this particular show and this offer, and you're going to get a very large discount on whatever you want to offer.
And
but you have to say,
love a discount?
You have to say, I heard it or saw it on Rock It Right with Betsy and Kay. And you're going to be quite shocked at how generous Stuart Selassie and his wife Renee are, and they're going to be on our next show. So,
Fantastic.
Without further ado, you've met him before, Judd Jeansonne. He has been on our show and shared with us the great things that he's done in planning for Volunteer Louisiana. But this week, 6 days, 7, 8 days ago, we got to put those plans into motion, as you have done in 2016 for the flood, as you've done for other storms. Judd Jeansonne, you've had a very full week, haven't you?
I have, but I'm just so thankful that we were spared the worst of the storm here in Baton Rouge, because the people in Southwest Louisiana and Central Louisiana and Northeast Louisiana are really struggling right now because they got hit hard.
They are, but you have got the resources through the state of Louisiana, through the Lieutenant Governor's office, through Billy Nungesser's office, and through AmeriCorps, the federally funded program, to give people what they need. So tell us what we're doing.
Absolutely. That's our goal. One of the things that's really unique in an unfortunate way about this disaster, particularly in Southwest Louisiana, is the way that it has completely wiped out infrastructure. No power, no water. And so usually at this time, a week out after a storm, we are being able to mobilize volunteers to start going in and doing some of the mucking and gutting and tarping. In this case, it'll probably be another 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks before that can happen, because it's not sustainable right now for residents. They're still under an evacuation order. It's not safe for volunteers. There's limited access, and there's nowhere to house them or keep them. So we've had to kind of keep the volunteer piece at bay a little bit. But what has been very active is donations. People's giving spirit in Louisiana has been incredible. Despite the lack of infrastructure, despite the lack of communication, people are finding ways to work with communities, to work with churches, to figure out what those needs are and get caravans of donated goods over to Southwest Louisiana and donate their money to make sure that recovery takes place as quickly as possible.
And that's great. I'm assuming, and this may be a wrong assumption, but I'm assuming that some of this delay in electricity and water and those things is partly because of COVID and the decreased man structure.
I do think that is a part of the equation,
which we've not really had impacting us before when we were able to have disaster recovery.
No, that's a great point. One of the things where we've seen it really impacted is on housing, because normally in a disaster you're going to have mass shelters where you can house a large number of people. In the COVID environment, you can't do that, and that's why you're seeing hotel vouchers. And so survivors are going out into surrounding communities across the state, staying in hotels. That limits the housing availability for for volunteers, for emergency responders coming in from out of state, et cetera. So there's a bottleneck around housing that's unique to this situation in the COVID environment.
Absolutely.
That's a great point.
Well, and this was such a terrific storm, horrible, in the way that it knocked down so many of the cell towers, the infrastructure, the ability to communicate, and we have more National Guardsmen, over 6,000 on the ground, Red Cross on the ground, so many people just there to help, but they can't just rush in because there's roads that are still blocked, and y'all really kind of have a good idea of where you can and where you can't go at any given hour, but also the DOTD, our Department of Transportation and Development, has some actual phone numbers you can contact, and we want to give you those before the end. But tell me the biggest need that you see.
Sure. Right now, it's basically basic feeding. From supplies, dried goods, non-perishable goods, to providing a hot meal because everybody's food supply are wiped out. Of course, nothing is open. You can't go to the store. You can't go to the restaurant.
Right.
Your power's out. You've lost everything in your freezer and refrigerator. And so you are really depending on your neighbors across the state and across the country to help sustain you. So the need for basic supplies from personal hygiene to water to food.
Baby items.
Baby items, absolutely. Those are incredibly high need. And to your point, it's not really a good idea for people to self-deploy and just drive into Lake Charles.
No.
There's accessibility issues. There's still down power lines. We do need to get those resources in there, but we really encourage people from outside the area to partner with maybe a church or a larger organization that's doing a donation drive so you can limit the amount of traffic going in and out, especially with the evacuation order. Survivors are coming in to check on property and leaving. There's a lot of traffic already.
Right.
We want to make it as safe for those people to go back in and check on their belongings as possible. So there's opportunities here in Baton Rouge and across the state, really, for these large-scale donation drives to get these big trucks going in instead of all of us taking our individual cars with the with a load of Gatorade and diapers, for example.
So our guest that we had on before, Aimee Supp, was saying a friend of hers called and said, "We need Gatorade. The heat is really just wearing us out. We need electrolytes. We need, so many basic things that we take for granted. And so if there's anything that people want to donate, they can go to volunteerlouisiana.com. There's .gov. And people can actually donate what they want to give through monetary donations or through actual physical donations, and then you can help coordinate if they themselves want to go in. Is that right?
Absolutely. And usually the rule is in times of disaster that cash is king. Cash, you don't have to transport cash, you get it in the hands of people quickly. This one is a little bit different because cash, right now, there's not where you can spend it there. People are not going to be able to go into
there's no stores open or very few. It's sporadic. And then the rural communities around the bigger cities are really having a hard time because they don't have the resources.
Absolutely. And a lot of the response agencies that would normally take these donations and then begin to get them out in the communities, they themselves are offline because of this disaster. So there is more of an emphasis this time around on getting donated goods in, more than normal. And there are those opportunities. You mentioned volunteerlouisiana.gov. We do have, there are a couple of funds that are going towards disaster relief and recovery, and so people can very easily give money. And we're starting to see some of these donation drives come together in communities across the state, and that's a fantastic way for somebody to get their hands on items and goods, keep themselves out of harm's way in the affected area, but work together with members of their community to really leverage those individual donations into something large scale that can impact an entire community.
So one thing we want to make sure is that I'm sure that many of you who are listening or who are watching have relatives or friends or business colleagues that are saying, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? If you donate to volunteerlouisiana.gov, there's a foundation. This is not going to the government. The money is not going to the government. It's going to the people on the ground that really need the help. And so we want you to encourage them to go to the website and please give, donate, do whatever that they can do. It's very important that we get help from outside of Louisiana because Louisiana is hurting so much. And so that's volunteerlouisiana.gov to either volunteer or to donate, or if you need help and need to let somebody know, you can also text Laura to 76283. That's 76283. Text Laura or hurricanelaura.gov, and that'll give you some other resources. And it's really important before you go in on